It's almost nostalgic for a time that never existed, you know? Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? There's no going back to normal.
There's something wrong with the TV. It's all messed up.
I wonder what that means.
Or what could it mean?
It could be over in a couple of hours.
You know something.
I'm sure this will turn out to be a big nothing.
We'll look back on this one day and laugh, I guarantee you.
I think that ship is heading towards us.
What? What does that mean?
We shouldn't speculate.
Haven't you been picking up on what's going on out there?
I don't want to panic over nothing.
I don't think this is nothing.
We're in this together until things get back to normal.
There is no going back to normal.
Get in the car!
Whoever's pulling the strings wants us to finish it.
We're gonna be okay, right?
Yeah.
Joining me today is reoccurring guest, the guy I would rather be with when the world ends, Dan, the slack jaw killer, Sacklunch. Welcome back. Glad to have you on the show, man.
Excited for this one.
It seems like Netflix was able to let you watch one of their movies in Brazil. Not like Amazon.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Not like Amazon Prime. Shame on you, Prime. You are not Prime. And you insult the name of Optimus Prime. Change your name, is all I'm saying.
Change it to Amazon Average.
Yeah, not Prime. You're not Prime Time. You're the opposite.
No. Hey, congrats on episode 200 with the Goonies podcast. It was amazing.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. It's it was a lot of heart went into it.
I had texted you obviously because I was so engaged, and I even texted you today saying I almost, because it was so good that I felt like I could do a podcast on your podcast.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
Just because when you watch a movie, there's so much that you can take from it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like the segments we go through on your podcast. Like, you gave so much insight and additional information, and it was just a treasure trove that I feel like I wanted to dive into more.
Yeah, listen, you bring up a good point because I actually have a couple of corrections that I need to make. And
I have some beefs.
Oh, all right. You have a popcorn priest beef.
Yeah.
Okay. It might be a first.
Yeah.
The first popcorn priest beef. Beef on the
But
priest.
what are your corrections?
A priest beef.
So I have a priest beef.
Okay.
And also a priest correction.
Okay. All right. Let me get my corrections out and then you go.
Deal.
All right.
Deal.
So I mentioned last week, I can't remember if it was the first episode 199 or episode 200, but I mentioned that there was a video game that Chunk is playing before the cops drive by and he smashes his pizza and shake into the window. And I mentioned that he was playing Cliffhanger. And listen, I said it right, and it is correct. It is Cliffhanger. But in my mind, I just want to make sure that the listeners know I love Sly Stallone.
Of course.
And it is not a Sly Stallone Cliffhanger video game. It's just like a 80s video game called Cliffhanger. But
because you did a podcast on Cliffhanger.
I did.
The movie with Sly Stone.
Yes. And it was very good. Go check it out, by the way.
Yep. I have. Yep.
But I mean, I wish I could have a Sly Stallone Cliffhanger video game, but to no avail.
Absolutely.
Doesn't exist.
Yes. Okay.
And then the next thing I wanted to, again, this is not a correction. And in fact, I didn't do anything wrong, apparently, because these are just additional information. Okay, let's correct the correction. But I went and found so Dr. Dare and I were talking about how really could the Goondocks be saved by a handful of jewels, and we were like, maybe like 4 or 5 houses, maybe 3 houses or 2, but maybe not the whole like golf course neighborhood. Well, listen to this. I found this on Reddit, which you can go down a deep, 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 dark Reddit hole.
Oh, I guarantee.
But this one was right on the surface for me to just pluck. And this guy, Bob Mussini, God bless him. Okay?
Mussini. Yeah.
Mussini. Here's what he says. He seems like he's probably a real estate agent or has some knowledge with numbers. I only have a category in my show about numbers. I don't really know them that well. Okay. This is what he says. For an exact estimate, he says, we need money for 6 houses bought around 1980 when the median sale price was $64,900. He says, figuring 20% down on a 30-year mortgage at the average 13.7% interest, geez, that's crazy, and 5 years of payments times 6 gives us a rough target of $306,000. It's difficult to compare today's prices to 1985 prices, but based on market trends, I think we can ballpark about half of today's prices. It looks like we have at least 5 stones that would range from 3 to 10 carats apiece. A 10-carat emerald cut diamond of that quality would fetch around $500,000 these days. So at half of that price, we're looking at $250K. Almost there on 1 stone. Sapphires are denser than diamonds. We can ballpark that stone at about 5+ carats. That's another $25K towards our payments. Emeralds from Colombia would have been right along One-Eyed Willie's route from the Atlantic up to the western coast of North America.
Come on.
Yeah. He might have made a stop along the way. With an estimate of 6 to 8 carats apiece, the lighter of the two could fetch around $10K a carat, which just makes it over the finish line. But the larger, more vivid stone could give the Goonies another $160K over their goal. Note, the scenario does not take into account salvage rights, lawyers' fees, provenance, auction premiums, or any of the other tedious things that are going to come about as a result of finding a pirate treasure. But the math checks out.
The only question I have on this, and that's fascinating.
All right.
Is he giving the value of those stones today? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
No. He said the today's value, and then he reduced it. He says it's hard, but we're going to reduce
by
those
half.
By half. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's probably
I'll accept it.
Well over a couple, maybe $2 or $3 million in today's monies with those gems. But with 80s values, we can save the Goondocks.
That's amazing.
All right, well, Leon, let's see if I'm wrong. Lay on some beefs.
Okay, so first, let me give you the I guess semi correction. And let me also give a shout out to Dr. Derek, because he is. You've got great guests all the time, but he is my favorite by far. Like, awesome. He is so funny to me. He's just a guy after my own chip. So,
well, he's listening, so he'll hear it.
Shout out to you, Seth. So you and him were talking about the opening credits where you were like, I don't know what she's doing. Like, was she taking a shower? Like, I'm so confused by that.
Stephanie.
Yeah, that's a crab pot, and she grabbed a crab out of there.
No, she was washing her face, dude. No,
it was almost like bobbing for apples, but you actually see her grab a crab, and pull it out and drop it behind her.
I refuse this beef. There's no 100%. Way she grabs a crab 100%. Out of there. It's like a little helmet thing, dude. No,
dude,
no. Let's see. Yeah. I'm looking this up right now, dude. Intro. I'm going right to YouTube's. Oh, am I going to get let's see. It's like a weird helmet thing that she has on, man.
No.
Okay, we're here. Let's see. I'm fast forwarding. Where is she? I don't think it's a crab. It's like a weird thing, like a head thing that she's wearing.
Bro.
What? She's not she's not a crabber. Is she crabbing?
Hey, maybe.
Oh, there she is.
Morning.
There she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like what?
Boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah, but what does that even mean? This chick is basically all.
That means
she's a crabber.
That her family's crabbers. They were returning to port in the morning, and part of her job is to pull crabs out to give to the local markets.
What is she doing though? Like, why does she have to put her whole body in that rain barrel, dude?
Because she's a goonie.
I don't know. I think obviously. Okay, listen. I see the crab now. I thought it was like a weird headpiece, like headdress thing that she had that she took off to wash her poor face because she is homeless. But maybe she is a crabber. But like, that's a big. Like, I don't know. That's not what you do with crabs. You just get one crab out and then wash your face.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Whoa. I mean, let's not even insult our crabbing audience as if either one of us have any clue what the process even resembles, okay?
I don't know.
Like,
it's still a little weird. That was the only clip that was like, what's Stephanie doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Well, at least you have some answers to now, maybe on a future pod, you might have gone down another Reddit rabbit hole and found out more about Stephanie.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. She's not homeless and she's not washing her face or bathing in a rain barrel. But yeah, it is weird.
Okay. So are you ready for my beef? Because I'm not sure that this will even. I'll just throw it out there.
Okay.
So you made a slight comment about Michael Jackson and children, right?
Yeah, I did, and many comedians before me have done the same thing.
Absolutely. That part doesn't bother me. But wouldn't you think that the likelihood that he actually did what he's accused of is a lot less given the scenario that I'm about to give you, okay?
Okay.
So this is the hot take. It's just not a hot take on what you said, a hot take on how people view Michael. Because to me, Michael's the greatest of all time.
He is. You're right.
Yeah.
Greatest performer of all time.
But his legacy was diminished because of what happened. And so I look at that and I'm going to bring Britney Spears into this as a comparison. If you've watched any videos of Britney Spears in the last couple of years, you will look at her and say, that is a child. Now, if you go back to Michael, the way that he acts, he's also a child. And so you've got these child stars that grow up having to make any sort of...
There's a lot of abuse from both fathers in there.
But that's accusatory. And let me tell you why I say that as well. Well, not from the Britney Spears standpoint.
I don't know, the conservative ship and all that bull crap that they,
okay, let's talk about that because that goes to my point. If you were to watch this Instagram post that she put up where she's clinging knives together, like if you've ever seen Mad TV and the Stewie, like, look what I could do. Look how high I could jump. That's what she's doing. And so what the media did was vilify the father because the father's controlling all of her money because if not, she would go out and spend $100 million on puppies, kittens, and balloons.
Yeah,
but the media spins it, makes him look like an idiot, where she actually, in reality, has the mentality and maturity and IQ of a 12-year-old.
Yeah, but there's a two-way street, man. Like there's some fault on both sides for sure.
I don't disagree with that. All I can tell you is what I see. And I've never heard of any abuse allegations from the father. Now, I have heard of abuse allegations from the Jackson family.
Oh, for
father.
sure. He beat him all the time. But
let me continue on this trope, okay?
Okay.
Because additionally, if you're looking at Michael and you're drawing a, in my opinion, fair comparison, that he also had the mentality, maturity, and IQ of a 12-year-old. Because again, they never had to make any critical decision in their life. Every decision was made for them. What they ate, when they ate it, who they associated with, where they went, what they sang, everything, right? So all of a sudden they're, faced with this opportunity. They, as in these kids, the accusers, the parents, they're faced with this opportunity where they see this man with billions of dollars and, again, basically Sling Blade or what's his name from the Green Mile. And he likes to play, like Macaulay Culkin even talks about how much fun they had and that Michael's just a big kid inside. Well, no, he literally was a kid, like just with an adult body. So they play like kids. And I look at something like my nephews. When my nephews have a sleepover, what do? Well, they sleep in the same bed. And then on top of that, they wrestle, they do all sorts of things. And so I feel like these parents saw their cash cow, saw the perfect opportunity and seized it by accusing him of wrongdoing, when realistically it was literally just him being, unfortunately, mentally handicapped.
Listen, just like we don't know what happened with Britney Spears' dad, I don't know what happened for sure, but enough.
Of course.
Yeah, there's probably more benign situations that aren't, but there's something happened that wasn't great all the time. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but again, like when you're talking about kids, like this has been proven over and over, where a kid, they see how adults react. And when adults are expecting and or wanting specific answers and they don't get them, the body language tells the child, hey, I'm not pleased. So the child starts to seize on that and will change the stories to appease the adult figures in the room.
All right.
At least say it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's a certainty, but I'm saying that he should probably be given much more of a benefit of a doubt than he was ever given. So that's my hot take on Michael.
Listen, let's leave it up to others to judge.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's get into the details of the film that we're going to review. Our 201st episode, Leave the World Behind, from 2023. A family's getaway to a luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when a cyber attack knocks out their devices and two strangers appear at their door. See, I don't like that description. It's a little spoilerly to me.
It is. I agree.
I don't like it. Directed by Sam Ismail. Top billed stars Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali. Did I get it? Mahershala?
Yeah.
Okay. Mahershala Ali. Ethan Hawke. Runtime at 2 hours and 18 minutes. Kind of felt like 3 hours and 18 minutes. Rated R. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says mystery, thriller / drama. IMDb says drama, mystery, and thriller. Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it. Speaking of IMDb, they give it a 6.5 out of 10 from 142,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, however, gives it 76% from 147 critic ratings and 34% from 5,000 plus audience ratings. Where to watch this right now? The time of this recording, you could stream this on Netflix, as this is a Netflix joint. And you can stream it in any country that you might be subscribing to Netflix, unlike Amazon Prime. And if you choose the highest tier of our Patreon account, you'll have access to the Popcorn Priest Permanent Collection. Go to patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details. All right, man. Are you ready for Popcorn Reviews the Reviews?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Popcorn Reviews the Reviews.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
All right. What do you want? You know the drill.
Yeah, back and forth. Let's start with the bad.
Okay. I threw in a 5 out of 10 because I really liked the reviewer. I've selected his reviews in the past. So I'm vibing this guy, whoever he is. Or lady, whoever, or they.
We need to find them and have them on a pod.
Yeah, you listen. This is a 5 out of 10. They forgot to film the rest of the movie, says Love Michael Jordan. Difficult to say what the point of this was. It starts off quite well, but the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. Any apocalypse movie can be interesting in the beginning, when neither the audience nor the characters know what's going on. The difficult part is to make the reasons for the apocalypse make sense and to make the rest of the movie interesting. The premise is interesting, but as soon as the characters start to put the pieces together, the movie ends abruptly. It is one of the weirdest endings I've ever seen. The characters had only solved about 80% of the mystery, and it would be interesting to know what would happen next. This whole movie feels like an intro. It feels like a pilot episode of a TV show. Perhaps they forgot to film the rest of the movie. But I also don't think there was much more to build with after the credits rolled. Still, an enjoyable movie with a great cast. Mahershala Ali was phenomenal. 5 out of 10 stars.
Like, it's hard because we're in episode 1 and next week is spoiler zone.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to comment too much on that. But he had a lot of good points. Look, conceptually, this type of movie conceptually is amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I like, The Last of Us has been hyped up and quite a bit. Super cool. I like anything zombies I'm in,
Sure.
Even if it's terrible.
28 days later, 28 weeks later. Yeah.
Yeah. We've reviewed you and I have reviewed a terrible Zack Snyder, whatever was
really bad
zombie movie, but we're in for him. Like, we'll watch them, but
absolutely.
And I'm in for these type of movies too, even though they sometimes can get a little heavy, man. And it might be a little spoilery that he talked about the ending. He didn't say what happened, but it was obviously that's the matzo ball hanging out there. So
I don't even think it's a matzo ball. It was just awful.
Yeah. All right. 10 out of 10. First 10 out of 10. Huxley, Not Orwell. A film for readers and thinkers, says Martian Tom. I love it when they start out like insulting everyone who didn't like it. Like, that's the only way that they can get a rise out of people is like, hey, you are stupid.
So pretentious. It's such a pretentious title.
Yeah. Well, so Martian Tom says, well, this certainly isn't one for the kids. You'll know the reviews from them because they'll say things like WTF or so boring. Quote, dumb ending, etc. So they'll have quickly been distracted back to their phones, which isn't 1,000 miles removed from what the film is actually about. It won't have been the disaster movie they were expecting, but it certainly is one. The true disaster it depicts lies beneath the surface. The disaster of the world we've created and are destroying with the kind of passive indifference to things that are embedded in our throwaway junk food, instant gratification lifestyle now. A passivity that the advent of smartphone culture and instant connectedness all day everywhere has exacerbated hugely. The irony of all that, of course, is that as we have become more connected, and now that we have instant access to more information than we could ever have dreamed about, the more disconnected, divided, and ignorant we are. Is that a deer? The girl says at one point, without her phone available to check it. Can she be sure? Anyone? People often cite Orwell as the prophet for a forthcoming repressive, authoritative society based on mass surveillance. But Aldous Huxley was the one who actually had it right. We won't regard these objects as facilitators of oppression, mind control, and social engineering. Instead, we embrace them, love them, be willing to spend huge sums on them, and we won't be able to imagine ever living our lives without them. That's the true disaster at the heart of this story. That's what we need to take from it. I wonder how many will. 10 out of 10.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable, right?
Bro. I mean, dog. Let's chill just a little bit.
Chill just a little bit is very apropos.
The funny thing is, we can all point to technology and talk about the instant gratification and things like that. But I point to a scene in Mad Men where they're at a park having a picnic.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Mad Men?
I did not. Many people have told me to watch it.
At the end of their picnic, they had eaten all on paper and plastic. And all he does is picks the blanket up and shakes all of it off onto the ground. Now this is essentially 70 years ago. It's not as if we're all that different than we were 70, 100 years ago. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
So I think somebody like this just lacks complete conceptualism. Like, it's just silly to stay in the bubble that he's in.
Yeah, it's
that's a heavy 10 out of 10, dog.
That's why I picked it, because I was like, oh my goodness, this guy is like hates everyone and is so sad about no, it's not sad, angry that, the world is what it is, but it's like you gotta open your mind just a little bit and your blinders just a little bit to see kind of what's going on and not just focus on all those things that he mentioned,
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing is division will always exist because we're not created equal.
No.
We're not meant to agree on everything.
Yeah.
So I don't understand when people say we're as divided as ever. I don't completely buy into that. Now, is the media more than ever trying to divide us? Yeah, absolutely. But
and they're succeeding in many
media,
ways, for sure.
They are.
Here's the next 1 out of 10. Leave this movie behind. Says old 52, and I guarantee this guy's 52 years old. What a disgrace. Netflix just can't nail the slow burn no matter what they hire or how much cash they throw at them. This had amazing potential. Maybe the book was really good, but this was just a long, drawn-out, slow shuffle to Nowheresville. Even when the movie ends, it's like it just stops. There's no ending, no climax. The narrative just comes to an end. Some decent acting, talent, and some nice scenery. But the director's use of weird, amateurish camera angles gave me a headache and made the whole movie seem like a USC student film that didn't have a script or a story. All in all, this is just typical drainage from Netflix. 1 out of 10.
It's hard for me because I don't want to give too much away. So
yeah,
that one I cannot unpack. I'll unpack it next week.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm teeing up for next week with that for review. Sure. Yeah. All right. 10 out of 10. Suspenseful and cerebral, says Crimson Wolf 96374. I rarely am excited by new Netflix releases. Sometimes yes, but more often not.
Okay.
However, I have to say that this new film is really great. If you like Don't Look Up and films that stimulate your cerebral activity while keeping you totally engaged, then you might enjoy this suspenseful offering. I can't stop. Interesting premise, terrific script and dialogue, solid acting and spot on directing. The subtext of our tech dependency and its shaping of our collective realities is so deliciously on target. Lots of food for thought. Not a dull moment, right up to the clever last frame. If you Netflix, try it out. 10 out of 10.
Okay, first of all, Don't Look Up is awful.
I didn't watch it because of what you said. I was going to watch it, and I was
awful.
like, I'm out now.
I still haven't finished it.
Shoot.
And I won't. Kind of funny, though. Like, the first 10 out of 10s both, had that pretentious, I am much more intelligent than thou.
Mm-hmm. This one was just, I loved it so much. That's it. It's just like gushing about it.
The first one was very insulting, very, very condescending. This one, look, like I said, conceptually, it's these types of movies are home runs.
They should be. Last 1 out of 10. Leave this one behind at all costs, says Summit Kumar is my name. Summit Kumar is my name. All together with no spaces.
Okay.
This is what happens when a lot of expectations are slammed by a crappy length film. This basically has nothing to bring on table. I'm not having a stroke. I'm just reading it as it's written. So many unnecessary and far-fetched scenes with no conclusion or connection with the next one. The makers tried to build the suspense in the beginning, but then gave up later and decided to change the course. Quick tip, fast forward the long conversation scenes. Glad that I learned that in the first hour. You would expect something at the end of these stretched out scenes, but nothing would happen. Left so many questions unanswered. For a movie based on catastrophic events, the ending was hilarious. 1 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are tough because we like movies.
Yes.
So even when it's a bad movie, like these reviews, I would say 99% of the time, I'm like, you guys are being a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, but I do grab the far left and right, which makes it more fun. But yeah, you're right.
At the same time, with this particular one, I find myself nodding my head more with the 1 out of 10 than the 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which is it's a weird thing to go through when, like I just said, like I love movies. Like it's very rare that I'm ever going to dislike a movie. Very rare.
Yeah, I think I brought it up on the pod before, but I've only walked out of one movie in my whole life, and it was Freak when I worked at the theater. So yeah, it's hard for me to be like, oh, this movie was hot trash, There's always something I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool, or a lot of people really tried their best to make this,
Yeah.
All right, last 10 out of 10. The ending totally worked for me, says says Twist 58356. And then here, I know that was funny because of what we experienced, but this might be a little somber. I left this at the end because maybe we don't know everything.
Okay.
As a Ukrainian, I totally understand the feelings that this movie tried to give. When something is happening and you don't understand what is going on, and yes, you have only bits of information trying to get your thoughts together. Everyone who thinks the ending is bad probably thought that it is strange that Ukrainians go to McDonald's during the war, but this is how it is. After you've adapted,
that's not strange.
You just stick with your wishes and strives, and this is just what keeps you sane. The movie perfectly describes emotions of chaos from point of view of a regular person. Sam Ismail, thank you so much for this movie. It did my evening. 10 out of 10.
Whoa. Yikes. Yeah, that's tough. Look, wars are fought by soldiers, not by citizens. And so are you going to see an old lady walking back from a supermarket with groceries? Of course you are.
Yeah.
So,
but it's still rough. Like, I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but you do.
I do?
Like, absolutely you do.
Oh, I didn't know that I knew that I knew.
Our country's been at war, correct?
Yeah, but not on our soil.
Yeah, but that's all. It's not as if the war is literally on top of every single person in Ukraine. Most of the war, granted, they want to show that as if it's happening in cities, but it's really not. It's happening on the outskirts of cities. And so,
yeah, but dude, there's a big difference between, me being in Utah and there's fighting in like California or Nevada, and I'm like close to the fighting. That would be crazy. That's a different story. And the movie itself, it's happening like they can see across explosions and crap going on.
Yeah,
like that's intense. I had a pit in my stomach, man.
A lot of Ukrainians, yes. I do agree with him, but wars are fought by soldiers, not by citizens. And like the media will try to hype up casualties of war, and our initial, attachment is, hey, those are citizens, but no, the casualties of war, 95% of them are going to be soldiers, if not 99% of them are going to be soldiers.
I don't know about that, but I mean,
I would be open to see the actual numbers, but you're rarely going to get them. Look at what we went through with the pandemic. Like,
true,
the amount of COVID deaths was a fraction of actual deaths by COVID.
Yeah, the reporting wasn't accurate.
Not accurate doesn't even begin to describe what that was. It wasn't even in the same fucking stratosphere. So, sorry, dropping that bomb there. Sorry about that.
Explicit lyrics.
It still is a rough thing to have your country at war, whether it's on somebody else's soil or not.
Yeah.
And I think, I think you can agree with me that us in the United States, like we're tired of war. We don't want to go to war anymore. We don't want to fight other people's wars.
War.
We don't want to fund other people's war.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we should move on. I pray for peace on earth and goodwill towards all men. That's what the priest wants. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's get into should or shouldn't you watch this? Ooh, that was had a little extra sauce on that one.
Yeah.
5 reasons why you should watch Leave the World Behind. What is this one called? Leave the World Behind. Number 1, if you like long, slow movies, then this is for you. Number 2, if you are like Sam Ismail, and if you like Sam Email and Mr. Robot, then maybe you'll like this because he made Mr. Robot. I have not seen Mr. Robot, but some people
I don't know what it is.
Really like it. It's a TV show. Number 3, if you don't like slower McSlowerton movies, then this is not for you.
This is not for you.
Sorry, I had to throw that in again. Number 4, if you're in the mood to get frustrated at the end, then pop this on. Hashtag. What did I say?
It's right up your alley.
Like here's my hashtag. Let's get this trending, guys.
Sopranos.
Oh yeah, yes, correct.
This is for you.
Here's the hashtag for number 4. Netflix. Okay. Instead of Netflix and chill, Netflix and anger.
Yeah.
All right.
Netflix and riot.
Yeah, Netflix and anger because you'll be frustrated. Or Netflix and frustration. Number 5. If you are high, then this might not be for you. Might make you want to start digging a bunker.
Okay. I mean,
I'm just throwing that out there.
Like, yeah, like if you want to get motivated to doomsday prep, this is for you.
Yes. And there is, oh man, I can't talk about it till next week, but yes, I agree.
Well, and you are somebody that is not what you would call a doomsday prepper, but
no,
you have food storage.
We have food, not as much as I would like after watching this movie, but we do have some food.
Do you have 2 years?
No, I bet we have.
No.
I bet we have 6 months of food that we could live on.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Not like delicious meals. This is just so that we can live, right? We have food.
Right.
It might be a weird menu, but we would be able to live. Yeah.
Yeah, sustenance for 6 months.
Problem with me is I don't have any guns to shoot anybody who's come to try to take my food.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. And that's ammunition is going to be in that scenario, in the scenario of this movie, would be the most valuable bartering chip.
Yes. And maybe BJ's. I don't know. All right. Let's get into numbers.
Let's do it.
For God's sakes, just give me the damn number!
All right. I don't have a lot, but I have some. And then we'll be done with this week. But Sam Ismail's apocalyptic thriller debuted on December 8th. And as has been proven by Netflix's own data over the past month, it has been incredibly popular. From December 4th, which is surprising about all the negative reviews. From December 4th to December 10th, the film racked up 1.9 billion viewing minutes. Yeah. Minutes, not hours. Minutes. So they're trying to pump up those numbers, right? You switch that to hours, it's a lot less. Minutes. Yeah, like maybe someone watched 3 minutes and then turned it off because they were bored. But viewing minutes among U.S. audiences, despite only being available for 3 days in the measurement period. Very popular as it first came out, but then there was a lot of negative chatter.
And you said 1.3 billion?
1.9 billion minutes.
I've got to do the math.
Okay. I'll hit you with another number and then you give me the answer to the whatever, how many hours that is.
Well, it's 31 and a half, basically 31 and a half million hours.
Okay. Pretty Woman, a 1990 film starring Julia Roberts and Richard Gere as an unlikely couple, made its debut on Netflix's list of top 10 most streamed movies the week of Christmas with 8.4 million views to become the third most popular English language movie of the week because of this near Leave the World Away. What is it called again? The world is not enough. Leave the world aside. Leave it next. Whatever this one's called.
Drop it out of the side of the road.
Yeah, leave the Hispanic lady on the side of the road.
Wait.
Sorry.
You can't say that.
I'm so sorry.
If you say that next week, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
You say that now,
I'm so sorry.
Somebody doesn't watch this movie.
I'm so sorry. It was low hanging fruit.
I have to say that in the movie, he leaves a Hispanic woman on the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
Let us be clear.
Okay.
I understand that's spoilery, but I feel like it was necessary.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it, dude.
Can you imagine if nobody watches the movie, but hears you say that? What they're going to see?
I mean, listen. The popcorn priest isn't for everyone, okay?
But he's for Hispanic women, just to be clear. He speaks Spanish, fluent.
I speak Spanish. I love Mexican food. I lived in Mexico for many years. I love the people, they were very kind to me in Mexico.
Yeah.
Viva la Mexico. All right, last but not least, the last number I have is, what do you think Roberts was paid for her role in Leave the World Behind?
I would say, man, they like to overpay. Netflix does, so I'm gonna say probably like 27 million.
Oh my gosh. 25 million, dude.
Wow, yeah,
That's
nuts.
That's nuts, dude. And listen,
Why?
this lady just had to hang out in a beautiful home for 2 months. Maybe a month. Maybe
Man,
not that long, right?
I've got to be honest. She makes me want to punch babies. She ruined the Ocean movies. Like, I really have a tough time with her.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Julia Roberts. I'm sorry. All right. Just because of you, I brought up the top 10 Netflix movies for the week of Christmas streaming. Just Netflix for just the week of Christmas to New Year's. Okay. So like 6 days. Where do you think Leave the Batteries Behind? Or leave the Tesla behind. Where do you think?
I would put it probably at number 2.
Oh, dude, you're batting at 1,000, bro. Like that is exactly. It was number 2, and number 3 is Pretty Woman.
I mean, it's got to be high. Oh, really?
Pretty Woman is number 3.
So what was number 1?
That new Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
What is that? Is that a Star Wars?
No. So from what I gather, I mean, it's very highly known that he pitched a Star Wars movie to Lucasfilm, or well, Disney, and they're like, "No, we're good." And then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go make my own Star Wars movie," and this is that.
Oh, I might be down for that because I almost refuse to watch any more Star Wars because I think they've ruined the franchise.
Like, I kind of want to watch it too, to be honest, but I hate Zack Snyder. I don't like him, man. I mean, he lets me down way more than he is.
Yeah, he's a little overhyped. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay. The jury's out on Rebel Moon. Maybe we should watch that next. I don't know. Maybe that's the one.
Yeah, it might be. But man, after that zombie movie, because that was a Zack Snyder, we referenced it earlier in this podcast.
Yeah,
so bad.
It's terrible.
The zombie movie.
I hate it. I don't ever want to watch it again. I don't even want to think about it.
No,
please stop bringing it up.
Nope.
Thank you.
Let's move on.
Okay, and just so you know, the Leave the World in the Back Seat was 34 million hours, which you did the math instead of 1.9 billion minutes. Like, give me a break. And we're going to do the math for seconds, milliseconds.
Right.
27 billion milliseconds were viewed. It's like, come on, get out of here.
Come on.
All right. Anything we missed before we break for our spoilery next week review?
If we keep going, I might blow. And so
I've already blown a few.
Yeah. Wait. It's got to be your bowl.
It's got to be your blow.
Your blow. Yeah. I would say let's wrap it up and return next week with the heat.
All right. At this point, there may be spoilers up ahead, so if you want to watch and then come back next week and join us for our breakdown of Dancing to Hip Hop While the World Implodes from 2023. I'm on the social medias. I dare you to message the great Popcorn Priest, that Popcorn Priest that love movies and would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels or money, coins, bitcoins, doubloons, PayPal, anything that provides me with money. Send it to the priest at patreon.com/popcornpriest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. Lastly, the easiest way to support the show and the most free is like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Easier than getting water from the toilet, because you can't drink water out of the other places because it's all gone because the world's dead. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks to my special guest, Dan. Been preparing for the zombie apocalypse since 1999, Sacklunch.
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. I'm ready for next week, too. We'll see you then.
Yeah. And I'm not kidding. If there was an apocalypse and zombies were involved, I would want to be right by your side.
My man.
Join us for next week of part 2 of Leave Those animals behind, or otherwise known as, would it be cool if we stayed in your house tonight? Would it be, let's see, I think I messed that up. Would it be cool if we stayed in our house tonight from 2023? We'll see you guys next week.